All right, let's leave cricket and talk about football. Let's talk about continental competitions now, talking about the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup. Our teams on the continent, talking about the Enugu Rangers, Rivers United, Ifeanyi Uba United, will know their foes tomorrow. And of course, we also like to let you know that the format for the Champions League has been changed. And of course, apart from the preliminary rounds, teams will be grouped into 4 groups of 4 to play a mini league, and the top 2 teams from each group will qualify for the quarterfinals to be played on a knockout basis, just like the UEFA Champions League. So tomorrow we'll know the opponents that our teams will come against, and of course the draws will be conducted tomorrow in Cairo, and hopefully we will get favorable draws that will ensure that we're able to get past the preliminary rounds and move into the money spinning group stages. Also like to remind you that there's more money now in the competition, so we're wishing that all our teams in the competitions will go far and do us proud. Okay, so we quickly move on from that and tell you about what has been the biggest piece of news today, talking about former FIFA Executive Committee member Amos Adamu. Another ban hanging on his head. The Ethics Committee has recommended a 2-year ban for Amos Adamu. You already know that the 62-year-old was a member of the executive committee and was also fined $90,400 for various violations of the code of ethics. And it was banned earlier in 2010. The ban elapsed in 2013, but fresh cases have been brought against him. And a ban has already been recommended, and of course there will be some deliberations to determine the length of the ban. Well, this is just coming in. We'll get more for you on this one. Even the World Football Governing Body, the information put out has been a bit sketchy. There are violations, but what those violations are has not really been brought to light. So we'll be looking at that. So that's more trouble for Amos Adamu. Just when you thought that everything is over and it will continue with football, there's this ban hanging that will stop him from participating in all football related activities if the Ethics Committee have their way. All right, we also move on from there and go to Chile. Well, like I told you earlier, they are in the news for all the wrong reasons. But first, let's talk about some Honduran officials that the Ethics Committee as well has imposed lifelong bans. I mean, there's no way back for these ones. Talking about officials who got involved in a multi-million-dollar bribery scheme to which both of them have pled guilty. We're talking about Rafael Callejas and the former acting president of CONCACAF, Alfredo Banegas. They were both banned from all national and international soccer related activity. The hammer is really coming down hard from FIFA. So Awit and Callejas were among the 16 people charged last December with bribery schemes for marketing and broadcasting rights in a dismantling of a Latin America network by U.S. prosecutors. And that is how the U.S. earned the name the football police of the world. That's one of the names that the U.S. got last year when some people felt they meddled in football affairs globally, and some also felt that they have been able to substantially clean up the sport. All right, let's talk about Chile quickly. Let's talk about Chile before we go on a break. Let's talk about Chile and tell you that and tell you that they've been handed a stadium ban for the third time in the 2018 World Cup qualifying competition because of homophobic chanting by their fans. And of course, this is against the rules, it's unacceptable, and of course, they've been handed a stadium ban. They are finding it difficult to qualify for the World Cup, and throwing this into the mix also make it very, very difficult for them. They had been forced to find an alternative venue for their match against Venezuela in March because of similar circumstances, and now they must face Paraguay and Ecuador away from their national stadium. It takes away the advantage from them, and we'll see how this pans out. And they are also going to pay a fine of $29,000. Okay, so that's it on Chile. Well, this one, a departure from all of the unpleasant news that I've been reporting. The Court of Arbitration for Sports have reduced Real Madrid's transfer ban. It has been reduced. FIFA imposed a 1-year suspension on the Spanish giant for alleged breaches of his regulation as regards transfer of minor players. But Real filed an appeal for the removal of the sanctions. And following a hearing at the CAS headquarters in Lausanne, a decision has been taken to divide that into half. So Real Madrid is banned from registering any new players for 1 transfer period instead of 2. So that's a piece of news for Real Madrid fans. It's not going to be 2 windows anymore. It's just 1 window, courtesy the Court of Arbitration for Sports. And Real Madrid's initial fine of 360,000 Swiss francs have also been reduced to 240,000 Swiss francs. All right, that's the top news. News making the rounds across the world. We started here from home and we travel abroad. Well, let me quickly introduce my partner. I'm just going to allow him say hello and we'll go on a break. A Kwara State-based sports journalist is here with us live in the studio, and also the media officer of ABS, that's Abubakar Bukola Saraki Babes, talking about Yinka Owelewa. It's good to have you around with us, Yinka.
I'm glad to be here once again, Yemi, and I have to congratulate Channels for picking the best.
We're still in celebration mood.
Yes, picking the best station of the year for the 11th time. It shows, and what you guys are doing on Channels is, it's a deserved award. Congratulations.
All right, thank you very much. So, you already know Yinka is a friend of the house, and we'll be talking about his club and so many other things on the show. But we'll go on this quick break, and when we return, we'll be talking about the domestic league in Nigeria. Join us again.